The story of how you became a Watford player in the first place really fascinates us, because you basically thought about playing Major League Soccer. You knew you wanted to play in Europe, so you just slung a backpack on and just went off getting trials here, there and everywhere, didn't you?
Yeah, that is kind of the short-sided of it. It's I was in Chicago, and I was playing university soccer, and I don't know if people over here know a lot about university sports, but they're actually really big in America. They're kind of like a professional sport in a sense, where you do get big crowds. It is a big following. I mean, college American football games get 100,000 people to watch kids that are 18 to 23 years old play.
Wow.
So there is a following, and it is a level. It is a decent standard, and I had a fairly decent college career, so to speak, where you play 4 years, you get an education with it. So that's important, and I knew that soccer was something that I really wanted to play, and I didn't know if I had the talent or not, so I knew I'd have to do it the hard way. So I kind of just said, let me finish my degree. Got my degree, got that out the way, so you always have something to fall back on, of course.
Yeah.
And then I knew a kid in Chicago that I had played with for 2 years. He was from England, and his family and his mom still lived here. His dad lived in Chicago, where I was living, so that's why he was there. But at that point, he was coming back to live with his mom, and he said, have you ever thought about coming to play in England? I said, no, but that's an interesting thought. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, either way, again, like, I'm going to have to do it the hard way, so you might as well try to, if you're going to make it at the top. And England, I thought, I'd seen it, and I'd experienced it a very little bit. But for me, it was all about the challenge and also the adventure that I knew would come along with it.
So did you just go and stay at his mum's, and then, I mean, how do you get trials? How do you just say, that I'm quite good, I just
I wish it was that easy, but no, he had friends, and he had some contacts here in more of the lower leagues. Like I said, I played non-league for 9 months, just trying to get your name out there, trying to meet people, trying to, do the trial thing. I know a lot of people in this country do it, and for me it was no different. It was kind of meet people, try to show what you have on the field every time you go out there, make sure it's kind of a mini cup final, like you look at games. And I knew that eventually, hopefully, something would come about, and thankfully it did. I know we traveled around Europe for the first 2 months I was here, again, more on the adventure side of things, not really planning on getting trials, but we had a mapped out journey.
So
where
it's like interrailing, but with, we'll go to Schalke then for a trial, and then...
Yeah, Amsterdam, of course, was the first stop, but
yeah,
we can't really talk about that here. But we went there, and we tried out for a couple teams, knocked on a few doors, and went to Royal Antwerp, and got left out in the cold for a half hour while the manager said he'd speak to us, and of course never came out of his office. But again, that's all part of the fun of it, and eventually made our way back here, and then got to work.
Okay, well, let's end on this fantastic goal then, because you ended up at Watford, scored one of the most famous goals in their history, playoff final. Have a look at this. That must have been worth the journey.
Yeah, for me that was everything. That kind of was the culmination of everything that you go through, and my family was there that day, and everything. So it was arguably the best day of my life so far.
Yeah, excellent. We'll chat more later. Jay DeMerit, everyone.